Today, I am Francis Faith A. Flores from BSTCM 1C, together with kizzleen DANE and Abraham CORNITES, and welcome to our discussion on DISCUSSANTS, the pioneering Dutch art movement. Before we begin with our topic for today, by the end of this video, you will be able to define this style art, to determine the characteristics of this style art, to determine the influences and legacy of this style art, to determine the most distinguished artists and their artworks in this style art, and to determine the most distinguished architects and their artworks in this style art. These are the topics for today. Definition of this style art, characteristics in this style art, influences and legacy of this style art, most distinguished artists and their artworks, most distinguished architects and their artworks. What is this style art? This style, which means style or the style, founded in 1917 in Amsterdam by painters Piet Mondrian, Theo van Doesburg, and architect Jacobus Johannes Peter Oud, emerged largely in response to the horrors of World War I. This style was a reaction against the horrors of World War I. It was utopian in nature in the sense that the members of this style believe art to have a transformative power. For them, art was a means toward social and spiritual redemption and the wish to remix society in its aftermath. It is also known as neoplasticism. It dealt with concepts like space, movements, order, and patterns. These influences and legacy of this style art. First is Cubism, influence on geometric abstraction. The art movement was influenced by Cubism and its abandonment of realistic representation of things. Mondrian claimed that the reason for starting the movement was the inability of Cubism to develop ultimate goal, which is by not having developed toward pure abstraction, or as he put it, the expression of pure plastics, which he later called neoplasticism. Theo van Doesburg, on the other hand, claimed that the style movement, otherwise referred to as neoplasticism, was a reaction to the modern Baroque of the Amsterdam School movement. As I said earlier, that this style art is also called neoplasticism. On the other hand, neoplasticism is a term adopted by the Dutch pioneer of abstract art, Piet Mondrian, for his own type of abstract painting, which used only horizontal, vertical lines, and primary colors. Mondrian saw neoplasticism as an ideal art in which the basic elements of painting were used in their purest and fundamental state. Only primary colors, non-colors, squares, rectangles, straight, horizontal, and vertical lines were used until he split from these styles in 1923. Neoplasticism also applied to the work of other artists in this style.
This style has a 5K characteristics. Let's start on geometric abstractions. So, this style precisely render geometric forms primary straight lines, squares, and rectangles to create their compositions. Next is primary colors. The movement favored a limited palette of primary colors like red, yellow, and blue, along with black and white. So, orthogonal compositions. Art is often employed where lines and shapes intersect at right angles, creating a sense of balance and order. Next is simplicity and minimalism. This style embraces simplicity and minimalism, eliminating unnecessary elements and focusing on essential forms and colors. Lastly is symmetry and composition. Symmetry was often used to dish style compositions to create a sense of balance and harmony. Now, example of dish style. Piet Mandarin is one of the most famous dish style artists. His paintings like compositions with red, yellow, and blue in 1921 exemplify the movement's key principles. And we have also Theo van Dasburg was another prominent dish style artist. His work often explored the relationships between geometric forms and colors. So dish styles influence can be seen in various areas of design, including architecture, furniture, and graphic design. So that's the characteristics and examples of dish style.
Good day, my name is Abraham C. CORNITES from BSTCM 1C. So here are the most distinguished artists. Theo van Diesburg, born at 1883 to 1931, a Dutch painter, advocate of neo-practicism. He is the main founder of this Stijl and was one who spread neoplastic form in architecture. Besides, he also started to use diagonal or ingrained colors. So these artworks he made: La Vete Cafe Restaurant, Studio House, Mural House, which best represent the application of this digit. Carpenter Painting, which is still museum. Rhythm of Russian dance, simultaneous counter composition. So next, Piet Mondrian. He was born at 1872 to 1944. Piet Mondrian was a Dutch landscape lawn painter. He was influenced by Cubism. He rejected equality of texture, surface, and color, reducing high palette to flat primary colors. After establishment of this Stijl work, developed his theory of new art called neo-practicism. He was the most influential artist of 20th century. So these are the artworks he made. First, Search Fake It, Prayer in Ocean, Sea in the Starlight. Compositions, Verdure Yogi Mogul. So let's proceed to the next page. Gareth Ville. He was born at 1888, died in 1964. He was a Dutch architect and furniture designer. He began his career as a craftsman with his father who was a cabinet maker. He joined the group in 1919. So here are the artworks he made. First, Reed Blue Chair, Scholar House, Table Lamp, Wooden Chair, and Table. And next, Jacobus Johannes Peter Ode. He was born at 1890, died in 1963. He was a Dutch architect. Ode's aim was to produce expensive building of quality that would hint real architecture. Later, he left this digital work, but yet he could not stop using its principle in his works. Here's the artworks he made. First, Café d'Ygonia, basic tourist housing. This in House Stuttgart at 1927. Housing development, Hoek Holland at 1924 to 1927. Housing development at Griffith, Rotterdam at 1925 to 1929. And that's all my report. Thank you.
Summary. What is this style? This style founded by painters Piet Mondrian, Theo van Doesburg, and architect Jacobus Johannes Peter Ode. This style art is also known as Neoplatism. It deals with concepts like space, movements, order, and patterns. Number 2. What are the influences and legacies of this style? Cubism and Neoplatism. Number 3. What are the characteristics of this style art? We have G, P, O, S, S. G for geometric abstractions, P for primary colors, O for orthogonal compositions, and simplicity and minimalist. Lastly, symmetry and composition. Number 4 is what are the most distinguished architect in this style art? Theo van Doesburg and Piet Mondrian, the most distinguished architect in this style art. Number 5. What are the most distinguished architect in the this style art? Gurmit, Rietveld, and G.G.P. Ode. Conclusion. This style art, also known as Neoplatism art movement, emerged from Cubism's geometric forms characterized by geometric abstractions, primary colors, orthogonal composition, simplicity and minimalism, and symmetry and balance. Key artists that architects include Theo van Doesburg, Piet Mondrian, Gerrit Rietveld, and G.G.P. Ode. Trivia. Do you know that this style had strong connections with the Dutch landscape? Answer: yes. The movements emphasized on horizontals and verticals can be seen as reflections of the Dutch landscape, with its canals and fields. Another one. Do you know this style wasn't just about visual art? Answer: yes. The movement also explored ideas of social reform and utopian ideals. They believed that art could help create a better world, free from chaos and complicities of modern society.